Darling, forever I would trade it for your love, your joy forever.
Phone poppy, yeah, she call me Young Poppy. That's my little shawty. She get thicky in the body. She got hottie toddy when she make it wet for me. Got that body on you, girl. You know I wanna play some hide and seek. You're someone that I wanna meet. You're someone that I wanna see. You're someone that I wanna see. And I got every idea in mind to get you poppin'. She said she just wants some liquor, so just stop it. I don't pop no pills or do none of that extra. I be chillin', smoking ganja with my niggas. I got so much, so many dreams, so many things to hold up. So many things on my mind. So many things to let shine.
We always remember to tell you the rules of the podcast. I know it's been a long season. We haven't said it since like season or episode 1 or 2. So we always want to remind you guys, the first rule of this podcast is, one, if you don't gas yourself up, we will. All the athletes that we have on the show have decorated playing accomplishments and careers. And so we always want you to kind of humble brag on yourself. It's one thing to tell people what they know, but it's other things to kind of tell them the experience about it and kind of just, let them know, pop your gums a little bit. The second one is, do not incriminate yourself when you're on this podcast. We have a lot of people with some decorated past or whatever you may have gone through, even if it's just talking about your team history, your coaches. So please don't incriminate yourself or say anything that you wouldn't want to represent yourself and or the podcast. The third rule is, don't have a filter. We don't want it to sound like robots. We don't want it to be scripted. We don't want to sound politically correct. Say whatever you have to say it with your chest and mean it. And the last one, which is one of the most important ones, is if you say anything negative about somebody, so whether it's a teammate or player you played against in competition, we're all feisty. We all have kind of on-the-court beefs. But whatever you say negative about them, you have to kind of turn around and encourage them with the same breath. We don't want to promote any kind of negativity. And so whatever you say about them that's negative, make sure you come around and say something positive after. Welcome back to Unrestricted Free Agent. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. We had a little break I think it's important to talk about. We value and prioritize mental health on this podcast, and so for the holidays, I kind of shut everything down just to kind of be present with my family, present with myself, present with my thoughts and things like that. I always have a process that I go through for the new year. I always write down my goals, and it's been something that kind of has gotten me through. So we shut it down, but we're back. We're happy to be back. We hope you guys haven't been too restless for content or anything like that. So first things first, we have an amazing guest. I've been trying to get her on for the longest, so I'm thankful that you were able to join us. One of the best hoopers, I'm not going to say gender hoopers because you're the best overall, one of the best overall hoopers in South Florida history. We have Taylor Shade here. So first, as we always say, introduce yourself, rattle off your stats, and whatever you forget, we have it here ready to go.
Oh, man. Taylor Shade, a.k.a. T Swift, a.k.a. Miss Put It On. You want high school stats?
Everything.
Freshman year, I think I averaged maybe 10 a game. Started as a freshman, played in just about every game except 2 because I ended up getting hurt. I had to get stitches or something like that.
Okay.
So I missed a couple games. Sophomore year, had a team full of freshmen, led the county in scoring, got robbed with Player of the Year. I think I was averaging like 26. Junior year, I get a point guard, so I'm averaging about 18, 20. Senior year, I honestly don't know my numbers. I just know I had a great year. Went to FIU. Freshman year, didn't play. Couldn't redshirt. Pissed about it. Still pissed about it. Sophomore year, pretty much 6th man of the year. Was averaging about 10 a game. Junior year, I lose my All-American. Scoring maybe about 13, 14 games. Senior year, I think I finished with about 14 and 4, maybe. Yeah.
All right, so you were humble about it. We're going to go into the nitty-gritty. We get to the real statistics of it. All right, and you forgot you're the all-time leader at Boynton in some records, but it's okay. I'm going to let you rock with that one.
Respectfully.
So, 3-time MVP at Boynton Beach Community High School. Shout out the Tigers. Finished as a senior, leading them to a district championship. Multiple all-state, all-conference, all-area accolades. 2012 McDonald's All-American Game nominee. posted Boynton Beach's first high school and current only triple-double in girls basketball history with 26, 12, and 10 steals.
Against John
You had it was against John I?
Yeah.
Dang, Kia. Posted 1,768 points for your career. You averaged 18 points a game. Career averages of 4.2 rebounds, 3 steals, 2.8 assists. 151 three-pointers your senior year, 60 trays in your final. 151 three-pointers, 60 trays in your final year. And flag football athlete, Sun Sentinel Player of the Year. Look at that, 2 sports in 09 and 10.
Yeah, I got
all conference,
robbed.
all state, all area for that award also. Scholar Athlete Award, golly. 4-time Academic Student Player of the Year. Graduated with honors in the top 5% of your class from 08 to 12. And you remember the National Honor Society. Now we get into college now. That was all high school.
10 years out of high school.
Freshman, I know, we feel so old, it's crazy. Freshman year, again, started or played in 10 games, 35 minutes, didn't play that much. Again, getting your groove. Sophomore year, played in 33 games for FIU, started in 8, 26 minutes per game, third best free throw percentage on the team, 28th in Conference USA in three-point field goal percentage, career high of 26 at FAU, rival, okay.
They robbed me. It should have been 30.
Averaged 9.5 per game, scored double digits in 17 of the 33 played, and team's second best assist at 58 for the year, and you had 8 assists against Rice in the tournament, okay. Career best 6 rebounds the following day in the tournament against East Carolina. Now junior, this is where the bag season kind of comes in. Started 27 of 29 games, averaged 30 minutes per game, second on the team with 11.7 points per game, led the team with 74 assists, 23 steals, and shooting 33% from the 3. Also led the team and ranked 7th in the league, shooting 78% from the free throw line. Career high 10 free throws against Wofford and at UNF Hampton. Career best 4 steals in the opener against Tennessee Tech. Finished the season shooting 36% from the field. That's a little low though. You had to get that up a little bit. That's my only knock on you.
I'm playing the whole game, though.
Senior year, one of 2 FIU players allowed more than 1,000 minutes for the season. Played in 30 of the 31 games, 29 starts. Became the women's basketball program's 23rd 1,000-point scorer. Kudos to that. 19th on the all-time scoring list with 1,069 points. Led the team and finished 11th in Conference USA with 13.7 points per game. Career best 412 total points. Led or tied the team, scoring 11 times. 26 points against you hated FAU. 26 points against FAU.
Tell you, man, 30.
And again against UAB. 82% free throw percentage. Team high 45 steals. 12th best steals average, 1.6 in the conference. 94 made free throws on 115 attempts. The only FIU player with 100 or more free throws, finished second on the squad in assists, steals, and minutes played, and 5th in rebounds. So now we're done with that. That was a mouthful. We're just going to talk about your reason for joining FIU and how the recruitment process was for you, first of all.
Just being on the AAU circuit, I was on the Nike circuit, played with Essence, girls basketball, under, Kimberly Davis Powell, one of the best AAU coaches on the girl side of everything. Coming up through everything, you get mail from everybody. So I had Florida, I had Middle Tennessee, I had Virginia Tech. I've had all these big-time schools send me mail, but during the process, you learn that mail don't
mean nothing. Yeah.
So when it came down to it, I had 4 offers, official offers. I had FAU, FIU, Long Island University in Brooklyn, New York, and then I had Mercer University in Macon, Georgia. So I took 3 of those 4. I didn't go to FAU.
That might be why you ain't like them.
Well, when it came to FAU, they were the first people to offer me, and then they ghosted me.
Okay.
I didn't hear from them, see them, nothing. And it was kind of when it came down to it, they were trying to recruit some JUCO kid. She ended up falling through the cracks with grades, and it's look, we still
Y'all
want
messed
you.
up, yep.
So it's I was a rebound in a sense,
Yeah.
but when it came down to it, the biggest piece for me was just being in a place where my parents could see me play, and an opportunity to kind of come home on holidays, with Long Island being in New York, Mercer in Georgia, they weren't really fluid with letting me come home as often on holidays.
Yeah.
FIU was down the street. Love the coaches, love the players. Some of the players on the team I actually played in the same AAU organization. So going on that visit, it made it super easy, and it was definitely the two assistant coaches that kind of
That's how it always
locked
is.
me
Everybody
in.
got a favorite assistant coach.
Coach White, Coach Thomas. Of course, they're at other schools now, but they were like my honorary aunties.
Mhm.
So it's like, you know, when you have two black assistant coaches like really locked in with you, want you to do well, want to pour into you, it was like my parents were comfortable. I was like, yeah, even if I didn't hoop, it was like, yeah, I could go to
Yeah,
NYU.
yeah.
So that's what my decision came down to, just being able to have them watch me play, and my parents didn't miss a game. So
I love that. That's love.
yeah, they came to every game. So
And then, so the next thing is kind of the jump from freshman to sophomore. I feel like a lot of people make the jump from sophomore to junior year. But so what was that like even in your off season? Like, did anything prepare you to make that jump for the increased role or anything like that?
So basically, my freshman year was very frustrating. You come in, you think you're a top dog because you know you dominating in your area, and then you come in and you get humbled quick.
Yeah.
I'm playing behind an All-American who's
Yeah.
averaging 30 like, on a good night. And it's like she's not sparing me. She's teaching me. It's all love, but in practice, it's like it's still up.
Yeah.
So came in, and I know it was, you know, I was more talented. And, you know, the whole international thing, we did have some international players, but just with the athleticism, like you come in and it's like, I know I'm better than this person, but these people are already embedded in the system and you're learning it. So didn't really play my freshman year. It was super frustrating for myself and my parents. And going into that summer, I was training with BMAC. I had been training with BMAC since I was like maybe 10 in middle school. And he told me, he said, Tay, look, if you don't play next year, it's on you. So he said, what do you want to do?
We all need that voice to say that.
He said, what do you want to do to change it? And I basically lived in a gym with him that whole summer, came back, and it was just like, I put myself in a position where my coach had to play me.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, my freshman year you tried me. Now I'm finna show you why.
Yeah.
Like, you should have played me last year. And I was just torching people in practice. It was like, I can't deny Taylor now. So even though I didn't start because, you know, she had her people who she wanted to play, it's just like, all right, media timeout, Taylor, let's go. It's like, all right, bet.
We love that. And the next thing, which I didn't notice how unfamiliar I was with it, what was the process after college? Did you aspire to play? Well, I'm sure you did. Aspire to play professional. What was the process like? Because I have nothing to compare it to except for the men's process or the men's side of things. So what was that like? Was it, you know, look to find an agent? Are they readily available in women's basketball? I know for the WNBA, a lot of the players, they play overseas in the off seasons, because of the money thing and things like that. So I just didn't know what it was like for the women's side of it.
It was something that I can honestly say I wasn't even prepared for. You know, I had been in contact with BMAC pretty much every other day, and he was just like, we got to stay in the gym, we got to stay in the gym. And then when the season ended for me my senior year, we had meetings, like senior meetings with the coaches, and they just wanted to get a feel for, you know, what do you want to do now? So it's like, you done? Or do you want to push it? Because if you push it, like, we're going to do what we have to do to get your film and all that stuff. So I had let her know, you know, I wanted to try it. There was a guy who actually had been supporting all of our games, who had been following me for a while, who was an agent. And he reached out to our coaches and, you know, just the NCAA stuff to see if they can contact me and all of that. And we had a conversation, and he was just like, you know, I want to represent you. I want to be an agent. Talked about it with my parents, of course, went through the contract, all of that stuff. And then we went with him, and he put me in a position to get some exposure, did a couple combines, and then it was kind of just a waiting game after that. That's the most frustrating part, like just waiting to see, like, all right, who gonna bite the bait? Like, who gonna take a chance on you and stuff like that. So did that, ended up not having offers right away from the combines, but I did get an opportunity to go to Taiwan, where I played in the Jones Cup, where it's pretty much a bigger platform. I'm playing with people who have already been established overseas that are trying to get bigger offers, stuff like that. So I played on a USA team to represent the United States over there for about a week and a half, to get some exposure, and I folded.
Oh man.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I folded. I got cold feet, and it's just, you can tell the difference in how we learn basketball here than over there.
Completely different,
So
yeah.
it's like they're super fundamental. I was getting killed on back doors. Like, my first game in, I think we played Japan, and it's like I don't want to do too much and be too aggressive.
Yeah.
I ended up jumping the pass lane. Shorty beat me back door, and my coach was like, "Let's go, have a seat." He's like, "You ain't ready right now." Next game, I went like 1 for 8. I was like, "Dang, bro, this is not how this is supposed to go."
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, "All right, Monica did this on Love and Basketball. I'm finna come over here. It's gonna be." No, bro, I totally folded, and I didn't have the best experience. So, came home and it was a wrap for me after that. Yeah, that humbled me big time. It was like, you think you're ready for it, and then when you in it, it's like, nah.
So while you were at FIU, I feel like this is always an interesting thing, and everybody kind of has their own experience. But did you feel support from like your counterparts, like the men's team, or even just other men's players? 'Cause I always feel like basketball is a community, but I also feel like we've done a bad job at supporting women's sports and like their platforms. Right. So how did you feel knowing, especially as good as you were, and I feel like FAU, FIU, like the whole kind of South Florida basketball community is kind of tight-knit. So did you ever feel that, or was it kind of a lack thereof?
I mean, we were cool with the guys because we go to school with them. We might have class with them, all that stuff. I can honestly say I was probably only in the gym with one guy while I was there. His name's Tymel Murphy. He's played in China.
He's played a million places.
New York's finest, man. Shout out to Ty.
Yeah.
But he was probably like one of those people who really like locked in with us. He supported us like no other. Even outside of the gym, like we would just see each other, let's say in the cafeteria, just like, T, I really like how you did that in the game, da-da-da. He just knows basketball so much. So other than him, we were cool with the coaches too. Like I would have really good conversations with the men's coaches and just seeing their perspectives from coming to some of our games or seeing, tidbits of our games and just taking all the feedback from them and then, of course, talking to B-Mac, he watched my games. Mac was very blunt with me, like, look, you got to get this faster, you got to do this, this, and this, and it was just like, all right, we got to work on it. So definitely had a lot of support from, those guys. I don't know if you know Dennis, what's Dennis' last name? Maven, he's from
Sounds
Gainesville. I think he went to FAU, ended up transferring to FIU.
Okay, yeah.
He plays overseas as well. He was super supportive of us too. So those two guys definitely like gave a lot of, insight on the game and at least made me feel comfortable to like just get in the gym and work on some stuff.
Was it something that you noticed heavily? Like, for example, I always cared about who was in the stands or whatever, but I would look up there. Did they ever like always come to your games? I know a lot of the women's team, it's natural for them to kind of watch the men's teams.
Right.
Because, however they feel about men's basketball. But did you ever notice that, or was it kind of like a thing you didn't even care about or didn't even look for?
Most times I wasn't really checking for them. As long as my parents were there,
exactly.
I was good.
Okay, yeah.
But also with just how our schedules are set up, sometimes when we're playing at home, they might be on the road.
Yeah.
So anytime that we're able to watch each other play, like we go watch each other play. So it was one of those things.
Yeah, that matters a lot. And the next question, do you watch women's basketball and why or why not?
I do. I don't watch it as much as I used to, obviously because I'm coaching now, but still watch it, follow some of the kids that's come through, the Essence program, because I did coach with Kim at some point, but I actually like how competitive this wave of kids are. Yeah. The WNBA is definitely in good hands, especially with, the Sue Birds, Diana Taurasi's, all those old heads kind of on their way out. This new era of women's basketball players are insane. Yeah.
And then since basketball kind of has been or taken a backseat in your life, another important question is how do you take care of your mental health now? 'Cause I feel like it's been an escape for so long where you can just kind of lock in and the gym was your sanctuary. So what do you kind of do to prioritize your mental health now?
Oh, man. I had a therapist.
Okay, see? No, that's important, though, because I've asked, like, a lot of the guys on the show or the guests that I've had, and I feel like that's kind of a sore spot still for a lot of men. Like, they don't – like, even just how casual you said it. Like, nobody's going to say that. Nobody as a guy's going to I started seeing a therapist. Like, it's kind of like a not talked about thing. So carry on. Go ahead.
I have a therapist. I haven't talked to her lately because I felt like I've been in such a good space and I've been moving and all of that. But, she kind of just gave me better ways to cope when I'm having one of those days. So I journal a lot.
Okay.
I listen to music a lot. I work out. I'm reading now. I never used to be a reader.
Same, literally the
Read
same.
books, people. Listen to me.
Same.
Read books. Educate yourself so that nobody else could tell you what you don't know. And then other than that, it's just I try to keep myself in a healthy bubble and around people who kind of promote the same thing. You know, I had to cut some people off who was kind of like on that weirdo, like I'm complacent with where I'm at, I'm stuck in my ways type stuff. And just surrounding myself with people who are going to give it to me raw and uncut, like, Taylor, you tripping. Like, you need to figure it out.
Yeah.
My mom is like that.
Yeah, same.
Taylor,
I love her to death.
You tripping.
Yeah.
Got to figure it out. My dad, he's more sensitive because I have no brothers, all girls. He's like, okay, Tay, now, look, this is da-da-da. But Ma's like, nah, figure it out. You're an adult. You got it. And then my therapist comes in and kind of says the same thing, but also nurtures you as well. Like, you're further than where you think you are. Don't beat yourself up. Give yourself grace. So that was therapy. Listen.
I was going to say rave about it a little bit because I feel like we all need to hear that a little bit more.
It's an investment, definitely, especially when you have quality therapy sessions.
This brought me to something. Is your therapist black?
Yes, she is.
Did you specifically search for a black therapist?
No.
Okay.
I was actually referred by my mom and my aunt because they do stuff, you know, they have a couples group and they do, my aunt is very, very big with health and mental health. So she met her at an event and brought her to like her couples thing. So when I was going through, you know, a rough stage, my mom was like, call Miss Julia. Locked in that first one.
That first one was over. So that's the other thing. I feel like some people go and it might just be a matter of you just haven't found the right therapist for you.
Right.
But they go and that one time turns them off.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you think you can go until you find that right one for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And you have to find somebody who ultimately relates to you. You don't want to just get a therapist who in it for the bread and or telling you some generic, you know, therapy stuff that they've learned. It's like you want somebody who can sit down and relate to you, and the fact that she's a black woman, a godly black woman at that. Those were two very big things for me because that's kind of the type of women that I was growing up around.
That's big. I feel like we need a lot more of that. And like I said, it's always interesting kind of comparing the responses because I feel like we all have such different stigmas and things like that of therapy. And again, my parents, like it was never talked about, but I feel like I was always provided a nurturing kind of environment to where I didn't even know. So when it went through the process of trying to get one or looking for one, like I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah.
But again, as you get older, you see more people doing it. You're like, dang, like, this is kind of an interesting topic. And then there's still people who kind of scared. And I'm a big proponent of therapy and things like that. Again, I feel like I kind of had the support system that I need to where I don't really need one right now. But if things got bad, like I would never hesitate to go or whatever it is. And the next thing, kind of going on along with that, because you have a clothing brand. I have it on, you have it on. For the culture, we'll post a link and everything like that. Please shop. But just talk about that. One, what got you into it. Two, what it stands for, what it means to you. And if anybody can help, what they can do.
Oh, man. How did I get into it? I honestly didn't, if I'm going to be completely honest.
Give us the story.
My older sister, Tori, started it.
Okay.
It's something based around millennials, just creating different avenues, platforms where millennials could collaborate. And at the time, she felt like it was a need for it. So at the time, you know, she was pushing the merch. I think she did a couple YouTube videos where she talked about, you know, love and marriage and, you know, things that us millennials are talking about right now in this day and age. But she ended up moving to LA, chasing a dream, and just stopped. Like, I ain't selling I'm not selling merch no more, Taylor. And our whole family, you know, we wear her stuff. I'm going to the gym. I got on the shirt.
Yeah.
All the guys like, hey, Tori gonna drop something? I'm like, hey, the people need this.
Yeah.
Like, they're asking for it. I don't know what to do. You know what to do.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to do it anymore. So I sat down with my parents. I was like, Ma, everybody want this, and I know I can push it. Like, I know I can get this stuff out. My mom was like, well, if that's what you think you can do, do it. Prayed on it. Next thing you know, renewed the LLC, learned all the ins and outs of, how to run a business, and kind of just hit the ground running from there. So what For the Culture means to me, I mean, it's still millennial based, for sure. But for me, it's just, what are you representing?
Mm-hmm.
And I think right now, especially during the pandemic, just the rise of Black entrepreneurs have been incredible.
Yeah.
So, just our culture, period, Black culture, period, there was definitely a rise and a need just in the Black community on just how to educate yourself outside of the norm. Like, I'm from Boynton. How many people you know in Boynton that's really like sitting down, learning how to do a LLC application, stuff like, nah, we ain't doing that.
Of course, yeah.
It's like you play basketball, you play football, you play a sport, you a rapper maybe.
Or you a
That'd be
dope
it.
boy.
Yeah, that's it. And it's like, even people with college educations, it's like once you've done with college, it's like, now what?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I was the same way. I've never worked a job.
Yeah,
I
that's a big thing.
chasing a hoop dream. So it's like now it's when reality sets in, it's like, what are you going to do? So it's just, what do you represent? That's pretty much what For the Culture means for me. And, now that, I'm into shoes, fashion a little bit, it's just, it adds that little razzle dazzle for me.
Yeah.
So definitely shop For the Culture.
So then we have the question game. We do a Family Feud style. So as if we surveyed 100 hoopers or whatever, what would the answer be? And this is our favorite question we ask on here. The coldest player you've ever played against and how much they gave you.
Oh, man. I can't answer how many she gave me, but Jerica Coley,
Ooh.
my own teammate.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that once you brought up the whole,
Jerica Holy Coley. Jay was a dog, man. I watched her give Wake Forest 40 plus. And we lost. Jay was a dog. She did everything. Like, you find a complete player, you got Jerica.
Yeah.
She played both ends. She wasn't into that flashy stuff that we be doing, no jelly, no nothing. Jay hit you with an in and out cross. Bye. Layup. Or she'll do an in and out between the legs, one dribble pull up, shoot the three. Like, she was a dog, man. I don't know how many points she gave me, but yeah, Jerica Coley.
Shout out to Jerica. And then the next question is, how do you feel like women's and men's basketball differs outside of the athleticism? I feel like the biggest thing that I hear is fundamentals and the skill. I personally think women's basketball is way more fundamental.
Completely.
I even think the skill level outside of like a lot of the top players is very, very comparable just because of the difference in pace. So it's a lot more, just think about it like this, it's a lot more of a half-court game.
Right.
And if you know basketball, you know how much harder it is to score in the half-court when it's not all runouts and things like that. So what do you see as a comparison?
I think the men's game is more so for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
I know those guys really love basketball, but
I question it sometimes for a few of them.
They're entertainers.
Yeah.
On the women's side, like, if you really sit down and watch a WNBA game, like, they really hooping.
Yeah.
Really hooping. Like I said, we're very fundamental. Of course, the men's have athleticism, speed, they're dunking, all of that. But for me, it's more entertaining. They have more publicity, of course. But women's basketball, I'm telling you, man, this next wave of hoopers.
No, it's good. That's why I say but again, I feel like for fans also, a lot, as you said, they kind of only like the entertainment value. Because if you're a fan of the sport of basketball, there's no way you don't watch women's basketball.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
and that's always been shocking to me. I feel like I didn't realize it until I got to college. One, I didn't know how unpopular it was, because I just thought men have their lane, women have their lane, and I just follow the men's.
Right.
But like when you actually got to realize, like, dang, no,
Yeah.
like there's really a lack of support.
Yeah.
There's really a lack of this. I was honestly shocked. But so I think that's a big deal. I feel like, I don't know, like I've always gone back and forth with how to bring awareness or what could they do, different marketing schemes, just bring the WNBA under new ownership. But I honestly don't get it. I couldn't even tell you. So then the next thing is, because you coach now, if you had to give any kind of advice to the next generation from your experience, or even just in general, what would you tell them?
Watch basketball.
I can't say that enough.
Watch basketball. That's one thing we stress with our kids. Watch basketball. Be around basketball. this generation of kids that we're experiencing right now, they lazy.
Yeah.
Like when we were in high school and the people before us, we was working.
Sun up to sundown.
These kids, you have them run some sprints, get a break, get water. They go on the sideline, get on their phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? We didn't do that. We weren't even allowed to bring our phones in the gym.
Yeah.
It's like, look, when it's go time, it's go time. So definitely watch basketball, be around the game, ask questions, a lot of questions. I had a team full of freshmen this year. They asked me questions every practice.
Yeah.
And I think that was huge in their development over the course of the season. So, yeah, they definitely need to do that and just be in the gym. But these kids want to do everything but be in the gym.
I question their love for the game a lot.
Yeah.
And the next question, if you had to give yourself, and we always post the highlights, so your clips are going to be all over the video. Don't worry about it. But if you had to give yourself a player comparison, it could be WNBA or NBA, who would you say you play most like?
I'll give you both. NBA, I might say Brad Beal.
Ooh.
I'm going to have to go Brad.
Okay.
Beal.
I like that one, actually. Okay.
Brad a dog, too, but just his ability to create.
Yeah.
Create a shot. He tough. He tough. I want him to get out of Washington so bad.
He chose the money. I can't be mad, but he chose the money.
And, I like John Wall, too, just how shifty he is, how he controls the pace. I like those two guys. WNBA, I would say Maya more.
Ooh, okay.
Maya, her ability to create her own shot was just insane. I didn't run off a lot of screens in college, but I did a lot with just creating my own shot, getting to the rim, stuff like that. So I would say Maya and Bradley Beal.
Okay. Well, the guests are going to be able to make their own decision when we post the highlights. And then we want you to leave them with a little bit of free game. We always like to ask for free game. So any kind of life lessons, I know we talked a little bit earlier about, the whole writing your goals thing, or just anything that helps you kind of transition into adulthood, because I feel like it's different. And as we talked about, you kind of learn different things about yourselves at each stage. So is there anything you want to leave the public with for their betterment?
I would definitely say always trust yourself. Never second guess your abilities to do anything. If you believe that you're capable of doing it, go ahead and do it. Life is all about risk. And if you're willing to take a risk to better yourself and put yourself in a better position, go ahead and do it. And you're going to fail. It is totally fine to fail. It's what you do after that. Like I tell my players, you make a turnover, it's the next play. So even if you fail in this one situation, you got the next play. What are you going to do to bounce back from that? And just walk in your truth, be you, and be unapologetically. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Just you at all times, and make people be so present that people can't deny you.
I love that. That gave my heart a little heartbeat right there. I feel a little warm inside. You heard it first, so we appreciate you for tuning in. We're so glad to be back at Unrestricted Free Agent. We always give the shout out, so please follow the handles. Twitter, it's unrestrictedFA_pod. Instagram, it's unrestrictedFA1. Once again, we can't wait for the next few guests. We appreciate Ms. Shay for coming on and blessing us with her presence. And we always end off with this. If we gave you 5 shots from half court, all right, you make one, you get $30 million. If you miss all 5, you spend 30 years in jail. Would you take the deal? How much of a risk taker and gambler are you? Would you take the deal?
I just became a risk taker. If you caught
you put a parlay in, you put a bet in, so.
Yeah, Kansas City let me down.
So.
But if you would have caught me out of college, I wouldn't have took nothing. I wasn't willing to risk it, but.
Ooh, interesting take. All right.
Yeah, I'm not 30 years. Listen. Numbers don't lie. If I ain't never hit no half-court shot, I'm not finna put myself in that fire.
All the men are always like, man, bet it up. I'm not worried about it. Bet it up. See,
but now,
that's the difference.
But now, like I was telling Shaq, I was like, look, I'm a regular civilian now. I still put in that work, though, so let's do it. We got 5 shots.
For the culture, let's go. Let's do it.
This a workout now. The crazy thing is we used to shoot half-court shots to end the shoot-around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We used to do that, too. You probably never made it, though.
Never won, bro. We played 35 games a year. Nope.
You try until you done. When you ready to call it quits, you call it quits.
There we go. Bang.
There it is.
One
That's
for
the one
20.
we use.
1 for 20, man.
I forgot the rules. It's okay, I'll just sit down in the chair with the screen behind me.
1 for 20.
3, 2, 1. Sorry, I'm gonna cut that one. Also, after like the segments, there's always like a pause. So if you see me just like kind of stand there and pauses come through, give me time to cut the clips. People always like, if I'm done talking, they kind of just sit there. I'm like, yeah, I can wait. All right, now I'm ready.
Where does it win it,
All right. All right. All the way up.